Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the most important entomology and nematology MCQs which have been asked in previous years for agricultural exams. The first question is, modern beekeeping is only possible after the discovery of movable frame hive buying. Here the question is asked like, who discovered the movable frame hive at first? So the options given are Langstroth, Newton, Carl von Frisch, and Beeman. So the correct answer is Langstroth. Why? Because he is known for father of American beekeeping. In 1851, his discovery was having the important milestone in beekeeping. What his discovery was that he discovered bee space. What is bee space? Bee space is nothing but there will be the gap or space between the homes. So there will be the multiple frames in the box, or there will be multiple homes constructed in a colony, right? But there should be some space so that bees can easily act and they can move and they can do their own works. Otherwise, there will be irregular construction of home, right? There should be some space, and also those space will help the farmers to easily handle the foam. They can easily take it out and they can easily extract the honey from those foam. So in earlier days, in old era, what happened, if anyone wants to take the honey from the foam, means either they will do cutting the foam, or they will do squeezing. They will do squeezing the entire foam so that the entire colony will get destroyed, right? But after the discovery of that bee space, what happened? Uh, we can easily take the frame out of the box and we can keep it in the honey extracted. So due to some centrifugal force, it can be easily collected, right? So that is the movable frame hive. Movable frame hive means there will be some brood chamber and super chamber and all. Brood chamber, we can keep the 5 to 6 forms. So based on the principle, we can keep. Okay, bee space is highly mandatory when it comes to the handling purpose. So that he discovered the model mobile frame hive. So that's where this modern beekeeping was started. So this invention made it possible to inspect and remove the home, and even we can replace the old home with a newer one without destroying the any colony. And why not Newton? Newton, it is very, here merely it is given. He is also famous in physics and all, gravity motions. Isaac Newton, you may be knowing about him. And Newton is also there in beekeeping because Newton role is very much important. He was the Christian missionary person. Christopher Newton. Actually, he is the father of modern beekeeping in India. Okay, so in India, he is the modern beekeeping father. But the thing is that earlier it was discovered by the person Langstroth after the discovery of bee space. Okay, and Newton is not an answer. Then Carl von Frisch. Carl is famous for bee dance, because this scientist got a Nobel Prize for his work on bee communication and the dances. Okay, and he got a Nobel Prize. So his contribution in beekeeping is towards the discovery of bee dance called von Frisch. Okay, and bee man, it is not a scientist. It is like distracted to check if you know actual name. Okay, so always go with the scientist Langstroth. So he was the one who first discovered the mobile frame hive, and he is the father of American beekeeping. Please remember, and also he was known for the discovery of bee space. And the next question is, Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage is located. Where it is located, they asked. So it is shortly known as DPPQS, abbreviated form of this. Okay. And the correct answer is Faridabad. DPPQS is located in Faridabad, which is in Haryana, right? Because this DPPQS is a central government organization coming under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay, so headquarters is located at Haryana, especially in the place Faridabad. So this is the main body which handles the plant quarantine, pesticide registration and all, and storage of food grains and produces and all at national level. So other options, Agra means, is famous for Taj Mahal and all. It is no more related to DPPQ's headquarters and agriculture and all. And Chennai means like Chennai has some plant quarantine station, regional plant quarantine stations and port offices and all will be there in Chennai, but it is not a central directorate. So students mostly like they often confuse the regional offices with the headquarters. So regional office is there in Chennai. Quarantine regional office there in Chennai, but the directorate is located at Faridabad. That is in Haryana. Okay. So Mumbai, the same. It is also a major port with a planned quarantine station. Many ports are there, but again the head office is with head office in Faridabad only, not in Mumbai. Mumbai, where the most quarantine stations will be there. They will handle import, export, quarantine and all, but they are not handling the national level policy and coordination levels in the quarantine aspects things. Okay. Then next question is use of highest seed rate and early sowing are the important cultural methods used to manage which pest in the sorghum. So it is very important management method for the sorghum pest. We should increase the seed rate, and also if you are doing the early sowing means we can easily avoid the infestation of the particular pest in the sorghum. So the options are Calocoris angustatus, Anthrigona soccata, Chylopatulus, Ophiomia phaseoli. So thing is that you should also remember the scientific name of major pest in major crops, at least, because most of the time they won't be giving the common name. They will be easily mentioning the scientific name. If you are confusing about those scientific name means there itself you will stuck. Okay, so be clear on this. Calocoris angustatus means that is nothing but water. Calocoris means which is a sorghum earhead bug. And Anthrigona soccata means sorghum, shoot fly. Okay. And Chylopatulus, you know what is that? It is very important. Stem borer. Then Opiomia phaseoli is the stem fly. Okay. And the correct answer is Anthrigona soccata, which is sorghum shoot fly. Okay. It is the most important early season pest of sorghum in India. The adult of this pest usually lay the eggs on the seedlings. Okay. And after 3 to 4 days, what happened? The maggots will be coming out of the egg and they will cut the growing point of the sorghum, so that it will be causing the dead heart in sorghum. So why higher seed and early sowing works means, yeah, if you are go with the earlier sowing, which helps the crop escape the peak shoot fly population. So peak shoot fly infestation usually occurs during the delayed sowing. So that's why we should go for the earlier sowing. Okay. And also the highest seed rate ensure that even if some seedlings are killed by shoot fly, enough plants will be there to survive, to have a good stand. So that's why they usually recommend to go for a higher seed rate. Okay, so this is the standard cultural control method given most of the places. Okay, and why other pest or wrong means Calocoris, which is a bug. It usually attack the floors like floors and grapes only. Okay, not the seedling stage. So in there itself, we can omit this answer. It won't be coming. Okay. And Chylopatelus, this is the stem borer. Like it usually occurs in maize as well as sorghum. So Chylopatelus for this particular pest, this early sowing and all not required. Okay. So like here the management is mainly relies on the resistant. We should go for the resistant varieties and all. So this temporer, causes the many holes, defoliation, heavy defoliations will be there. Okay. So Chylopatelus is wrong answer. It is not relying on the highest seed rate and all. Okay. Next, Opiomea phaseoli, which is again, that is a stem fly. So this is basically a major pest of pulses like black gram, green gram and all. It is not the major pest of the sorghum. Like cereals and all, millets and all, where it is not a major devastating one. It occurrence will be mostly seen in pulses. So it has nothing to do with our sorghum crop. So this is a pure distractor to test. If you know the host pest association. Okay. So the answer is Anthricona succata. And the next question is Brinjal lacewing bug is the what pest? Options are monophagus, oligophagus, polyphagus, cosmopolitan. So you should know the meaning of these terms. Okay, what is monophagus means? The pest which feeds on only one host. Okay, there will be the only one host on which it will feed. Oligo means it may depend on two or few hosts. Polyphagus means the pest will feeds on the multiple host, multiple crops like Helicoverpa and all. Cosmopolitan means the pest will be seen in the global level. It is having the widespread geographic distribution. Okay, so before knowing the answer, like we should know the terms and its definition. Okay, so here comes what is Brinjal lacewing bug. The correct answer is Brinjal lacewing bug is the monophagus because the lacewing bug, which is Urantius hystricellus, and also remember whenever you are going through the previous question papers, sometimes they may mention the common name, sometimes they may mention the scientific name. But you should also memorize both the scientific as well as common name and also family, if possible, family order. Okay. So the lacewing bug scientific name is Urantius hystricellus. So this is the monophagus, means that this particular pest feeds only on one host plant, that is brinjal. Okay, so this bug exclusively feeds on brinjal or eggplant. So that's why it is called, monophagus. So this is a frequently asked question. And why others are wrong means oligophagous, we know that is a depends on a few more hosts, but our species is not like that. Our insect pest is completely monophagous. And the terms and its definitions and all we have already discussed. And the next question is detrashing, which is a very important cultural practices in sugarcane. Means that it is the agricultural practices of manually or mechanically removing the lower unproductive dry or yellowing leaf of sugarcane. We should remove the lower unproductive dry and yellowing leaf of sugarcane plant, that is called detrashing. Okay, so this detrashing is a very important management practices in sugarcane that is used to manage which pest they ask. So the options are early shoot borer. Early shoot borer means what is the scientific name? Chylonymphus catalus. And internode borer. Internode borer scientific name is Chylosacchariophagus indicus. And top shoot borer, that is Syrpophaga niveella. Then root crab, that is Holotrichia serrata. So the answer is internode borer. So detrashing is an important practice mainly to manage the pest internode borer. So here the larvae of this pest usually hide and enter the stalk through the leaf sheath. But in detrashing we will remove the resheath, that sheath, right? So that the infection will get reduced completely. So by removing those sheets, you can expose the larva to sunlight and predators, and we can make it very harder for them to bore into the internode. So detrashing is very much useful for control the internode borer. And early shoot borer usually occurs at a very early stage of the crop. Okay, internet borer usually occurs at after 3 months only. So at the stage only we'll go for detrashing so that we can easily avoid infection of or infestation of this particular pest here, internet borer. Early shoot borer usually attack the young seedlings like around 1 to 2 month old seedlings. It usually target. Okay, and early shoot borer generally causes the dead heart as well. So this is not a answer. And top shoot borer which attack the growing point and causes the bunchy top. So if some questions are having bunchy top appearances due to the sugarcane pest, means you should opt the answer top shoot borer because it usually lives in the top part of the plant. Okay, so detrashing removes the lower leaf, so it has no more effect on the top shoot borer. And root grub, this is a soil subterranean pest which feeds only on roots. That is, underground pest. Okay, so detrashing is the above ground operation. So there is no more relative with the root grub infestation. So it cannot manage the root grub. Okay. And the next question is, which one is the non-host plant for the rhinoceros beetle? Non-host plant means other than host plant, major plant, other than main plant. Which crop is unrelated to the infestation of this pest, they asked. Rhinoceros beetle generally occurs in, coconut. It's a mainly, the damage will be more in coconut, right? So the scientific name of this particular pest is Sorghum rhinoceros. So the options given for this are coconut, sugarcane, pineapple, acacia. So let's pick the correct answer is acacia. Why this is correct means this is a non-host. Others are host usually because the rhinoceros beetle, which is a Orcitus rhinoceros, is the major pest of palm, coconut palm, and some monocots. Okay, so it generally breed or it makes the generation in the decaying organic matter and mainly feeds on the growing point of palms like coconut, sugarcane, and all. Okay, but acacia is a dicot tree. It doesn't support the breeding or the feeding of this particular pest rhinoceros beetle. So it is a non-host. So that's why acacia is a barrier or barrier we can use it as a barrier in the coconut garden. That can be sometimes recommended by the most of the people. Okay. Coconut is the primary host because the beetle mainly bores into the leaves and the crown and causing the V-shaped cut. And also you can see the diamond-shaped cuts in the fronds. That is due to the infection of this particular pest, rhinoceros beetle. And sugarcane, this is also the secondary pest. Okay, it's a monocot, right? So the adult beetle sometimes attack the base of sugarcane stalks, especially near the decaying truss. So it is also not preferred as a non-host. It is still considered as the main host. And the pineapple is also a host plant for this. The beetle still breeds in the decaying pineapple trashes and all, and can able to damage the growing plant of or growing part of the pineapple. So the non-host plant is acacia. And the next question is a good example of trap crop for cotton crop to attract the jasid, that is hoppers, right? Leaf hoppers and cotton rollworms. So trap crop is a plant usually grown to attract the agricultural pest away from our main targeted pest. Okay, so this is just to attract the pest so that our main crop will be saved. So the options given for this are bajra, that is pearl millet, lady's finger, okra, maize, tomato. And the correct answer is lady's finger. Why means it is a standard trap crop for the cotton pest, mostly jazz seeds, bollworms and all the bollworms, spotted and pink and all. Okay, it is more attractive to these pests than the cotton. So because of its it is having the hairy leaves and early flowering and all. So that those pests can easily lay the eggs and feed on the okra. So you can spray or destroy the okra plant so that you can easily save your cotton crop. So bajra, pearl millet and all it is used as a trap crop for maize sorghum pest and all, not for cotton pest. So it is used as a trap crop for stem borers, not for cotton pest. So it doesn't usually attract the jazzseed, bollworms and all. So it is not a answer. Maize is a trap crop for the, cotton stem weevil and sometimes for, helicoverpa and all. Okay. So, but it is not a best option for the jazz seeds and all. And why tomato is wrong means it is a host for the bollworm Helicoverpa armigera. That is also the kind of bollworm. But it is not commonly used as a trap crop for a cotton. Okay. And the next question is the gland of worker bee secretes royal jelly. Which gland secretes the royal jelly? They asked. Because out of three caste in bees, worker bee usually secrete the royal jelly. What are all the caste in bees? That also you should know. Queen, drone, worker. There will be only one queen in the bee colony, and drones will be like hundreds in number, and workers are like thousands in numbers. So workers means as the name itself, we can easily tell it will do all the work in the entire colony. Okay, so the secretion of the worker bee, that is a royal jelly, which is used as a feed to the young ones. So in Tamil, we used to tell like arasakul, that has a more and more microbial, antifungal, antibacterial activities and all. So if you have this royal jelly in a regular manner means there will be no aging. So anti-aging properties and all it has. But the question asked here is that which part of the worker bee secrete royal jelly? So the options are mandibular gland and Dufour's gland, hypopharyngeal glands, rectal glands. So the correct answer is hypopharyngeal glands. Why this gland is correct means because the royal jelly which is fed to queen as well as the younger larva by the nurse bees. Nurse bees are nothing but the worker bees. It depends on the age. Okay, so this royal jelly is secreted by these glands, hypopharyngeal glands, which are located in the head of young worker bees, aged around 5 to 15 days. Okay, so 2 weeks old worker bees are able to secrete this secretion called royal jelly from the hypopharyngeal gland, which is present in the head. Okay, and mandibular gland, which usually secretes the queen substance, not a royal jelly. That also you should remember, queen substance. Okay, and this mandibular glands produces the mandibular gland secretions. Some of the secretions also it will produce some of the enzymes which will mix with the royal jelly, and it will make a multiple benefits to the honeybees. Okay, and like this mandibular gland don't secrete the royal jelly. They are involved in the queen substances, queen pheromone productions and all. And Dufour glands and all, it is usually appearing in abdominal gland in the bees as well as wasp and all, ants and all. It usually secretes a pheromone, helps for marking and alarm. Okay, so this Dufour gland secretes the alarm or marking pheromone, not a royal jelly. So it has nothing to do with the fruit feeding. And rectal gland is totally different. This is involved in the digestion process, like in the water and iron absorption and secretion process and all. It will be involved. So rectal glands are the important thing which has the role in the excretion purpose, excretion of water and ions and all. Okay, so they have no role in royal jelly production. Next comes the effective biological weed killer. Biological weed killer means biological control agent. Okay, for the prickly pear openshia delini. So this is the weed, right? So in order to kill this weed, particular agents will be there, particular pest. So that is called weed killer. They will destroy the particular weed just by sucking and eating the entire plant. Okay, the options given are Dactylopius tomentosus, which is nothing but a cochineal insect. Okay, and Orthisia insignis, that is hibiscus mealybug. Next to Opiomia lantani. Opiomia lantani is the lantani seed fly. It is a fly, Agromyzidae fly family. Next to Zygogramma bicolorata. That is Mexican beetle. And the correct answer is Dactylopius tomentosus. This is the biological weed control to control the prickly pear, that is Opentia delini. Okay, so this is the cochineal insect mainly used in the biological control to control the prickly pear, that is Opentia delini. It generally feeds on leaves and all, gladodes and all, and it will multiply rapidly and causes the plant to collapse. Okay, so this was one of the first successful biocontrol program in India against Opentia weed. And Orthisia, this is used for Opentia vulgaris and all. Okay, not for Delini. So this is for Opentia vulgaris and Opentia monocanto and all, not for Opentia delini. Next, Opiomya lantani, it is for lantani weed control, not for the prickly pear. Next, Psychogramma bicolorata, it is mainly used to control the Parthenium weed. Okay, so the correct answer is Dactylopius tomentosus. And the next question is coffee green bug, which is a pest, right? So, coffee green bug is effectively controlled by using the EPF. EPF means entomopathogenic fungi. So by using some biocontrol agents, some pests are getting controlled. So that is what here it is given. Okay, entomopathogenic fungi means it is a biocontrol agent. So it is generally a fungal group which helps to kill the insect or other arthropods. So entomo means insect. Pathogen means disease causing fungi. So it will be causing the diseases in the insects. So this fungi is causing diseases in insects. So this is a biocontrol agent. EPF is there, EPB is there, that is entomopathogenic bacteria. Then EPV is there, entomopathogenic virus and all. Then nematodes are there, entomopathogenic nematodes. So here the question asked is, coffee green bug is effectively controlled by which fungi? Which entomopathogenic fungi? Option A is Histotula thompsoni, then Lecanicinium lecani, Beauveria bassiana, Aspergillus flavus. And also the common names you should know. So Histotula thompsoni is the mite pathogenic fungi. This is a mite killing fungus, generally called as mite killing fungus. Then Lecanicinium lecani is the white halo fungus. Okay, so why the name comes means it comes from the general characteristics of this fungus, because white fungal growth that surely encircle the infected insects. Okay, so that's why it is called white halo fungi. Then Beauveria bassiana, that is a white muscadine fungi. Green muscadine is also there, that is Metarhizium anzopili and all. Then Aspergillus flavus, that is yellow mold or Aspergillus earrot. The correct answer is Leconicerium leconi, because it is the standard entomopathogenic fungi used for the control in the coffee pest in India. Okay, and the Histotula thompsoni is generally used for mite control, especially citrus rust mite and coconut eriophyte mite and all. control those mites, this pathogenic fungi is used. And Beauveria bassiana, it is a white muscadine fungi, right? It is generally working against white crab, stem borer, and bollworms and all. So it is not the choice for the coffee green bug. And Aspergillus flavus, it is a saprophytic fungi which produces the aflatoxin. So it is a plant pathogen. Generally, it is not a EPF, it is a plant pathogen. And also it can be considered as the storage fungus, not an entomopathogenic fungi used for the pest control. So the correct answer is Leconicinium leconi.